Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the LIUNA Sports Wrap. Playoff hockey has begun, and the Golden Knights are gearing up for Game 1 tomorrow night. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you. Jeff Sharples, former Las Vegas Thunder player, NHL player, and we're also going to say played in Salt Lake City for a while. We're going to talk about that for a moment, but it's golf ended, well, early. It was supposed to end at 3 p.m., but as you saw, the rain showers, and that coverage continues on another network on the Golf Channel. But we got a lot of hockey to talk about, also previewing what's going on with the Raiders and the draft. But the Knights coming off a tough loss to the Ducks on Thursday night at home. Last game of the regular season, the team was at City National this morning for practice, and the fans lined up there on the streets to send them off to Dallas. I was there. Pretty exciting, energetic crowd there. Game 1 against the Stars set for tomorrow night, 6:30. Seems like everyone understands the challenges ahead.
Nobody's perfect in Game 1. We witnessed that last year. Other teams probably have gone through it, but you got to keep building and get better as the sort of series and playoffs goes on. So I think that'll be better. The energy level should be higher because of the time of the year, naturally.
The momentum swings within a game, within a series, they're pretty, they can be pretty big. So just trying to find a way to manage that as best as possible. When things are going your way, obviously you want to ride that, and vice versa when things aren't going, well. How do you get that changed and get yourself back where you need to be?
Oh, there you go. Jack Eichel looks like he's set out there at practice today. Watch that. Looks like they are ready to go, certainly out there. Mark Stone was ready to go as well. He's got that no contact jersey off, the red jersey, and he's in the white jersey now. So Jeff Sharples, we're going to talk a lot about what's going on here with the Golden Knights here this year. And this season, they get the number 8 seed. There's only been one team in NHL history that's won out of the number 8 seed. I don't know if you remember, that would be the 2012 Kings.
Yes, I do remember
with Alec
them.
Martinez.
Yes.
Did it back then. But this team is not an 8 seed, are they? No. Not with the additions that they've got, with the players coming back with Stone. They're not what you would consider a normal 8 seed.
No, they're not. These guys obviously returning, and what Kelly McCrimmon was able to do at the deadline with adding Hurdle, Hanifin, and Mantha. I think the two of the players, Mantha, big body, like to see him get going, get in front of the net, get working down low. I think the big one's going to be what Thomas Hurdle does. He kind of reminds me a lot of Kopitar, Andre Kopitar, who LA's been a Hall of Fame player. So they've made the moves. They're definitely on paper they're not an 8 seed, but that's where they go into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens in Dallas. Dallas has been stout this year. Very good even strength, very good power play, very good penalty kills. So it's about as stern a test as you're going to get.
They lost 4-1 to the Ducks in the highlights that we saw right there. But, okay, that game doesn't matter. It didn't matter much or at all. No. Really, a lot of players were benched in that. How important is it to have guys like a Mark Stone, the captain of this team, back and I'm assuming full health? He had a spleen injury. He was out for a couple of months, almost 3 months.
Yeah. So, they were talking about, an internal injury is a little different than, say, a shoulder or a knee. I guess, hockey players are kind of used to coming back from those kinds of injuries. Spleen injury seems like a pretty unique injury. So obviously Stone, his presence back in the lineup is going to make a big, big difference. And it's going to make a big difference for the way Dallas game plans to play the Knights.
Oh, no, it absolutely has. Now, the Knights were able to win all 3 games against Dallas this year. They beat them in the Western Conference Finals. Pete DeBoer is the common denominator, it seems, with everything with the Knights. And he's been involved in every playoff series, certainly either as an opponent or as a coach of the Knights, which is sort of interesting. But does it mean anything that the Knights swept them this season and also beat them last year?
Well, I mean, I think the 82 games to get to this point was extremely tough because it was uncharted territory for a lot of the Golden Knights and especially our community, right? We were partying all summer in Vegas, and I think we had a little bit of a hangover going for a good part of the season. Another thing you had is the team that's going to show up on Monday night in Dallas is a lot different than the team that the Golden Knights fielded throughout most of the season. You've had a lot of your superstars miss extended periods of time with the Knights. They're back. There could be some rust, but Mark Stone's proven in the past when he's come back, just his emotional leadership is going to give everyone a big boost, but what he brings to the table as far as what he does on the ice, the way he thinks the game, looks like he'll play with Hurdle and Chandler Stevenson. I think that could be a dynamite line. Hurdle's the #1 center in the NHL on any other team, or just about any other team. But when you have a guy like Jack Eichel playing as your #1 center, Hurdle's a really good-looking #2. Could even be a #3 if you want to throw Carlson in as a #2 center. So there's all kinds of depth down the middle where you need to be strong in the playoffs. And the defense looks like Petrangelo's going to come back. They're going to be in good shape too.
No, that is going to be interesting to see with these two teams. Not a #1 against an 8, even though on paper that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, but the key question today, and I asked him today at the press conference over there, Bruce Cassidy, I didn't ask him who was going to be playing goalie to start the series. I said, have you made the decision? And when did you, if you made the decision, when are you going to let us know, type of thing? And he said, yes, I've made the decision. You see Aiden Hill right there, who won the Cup last year with the Knights, and Logan Thompson. Okay, you're Bruce Cassidy now all of a sudden, Jeff Sharples.
Yes.
You're Bruce Cassidy. Which guy do you put in net? And their stats are almost, it's crazy how close the stats are with these two guys, almost identical.
That's a tough question. Obviously, Aiden Hill's the guy that kind of shouldered the load and was there when they needed him for the Stanley Cup run. So this year, you've got Logan Thompson who's back. He's healthy. Logan's game's been trending up. Obviously, Aiden Hill's been fighting some injuries, and so I think it comes down to health. Aiden's your #1 guy if he's healthy. So if he's healthy and he's ready to go tomorrow night, you're going to see Aiden Hill. You know what? But Logan Thompson's done a really nice job since the All-Star break, helping get this team kind of where they needed to go to get them in. And really, all you need to do is just get into the playoffs, and then the rest.
See what happens.
Yeah, the rest. You know what? Doesn't matter. 16 teams that wish they were in the playoffs. They've gone home. There's 16 left, and tomorrow night is when the puck drops for the Knights to see if they can repeat.
Whoever it is, whether it's Aiden Hill or Logan Thompson tomorrow. And by the way, their stats: goal against average is 2.71 and 2.70 per game.
Yeah.
So, and then their save percentage is .908 and .909. So let's call the stats identical between these two guys. It's crazy what that has become. A quick hook, though. You got to think with either one of whoever he starts tomorrow night, there's going to probably be a quick hook, so to speak, if he struggles out there to get the other guy in a hurry.
Right.
You think?
Well, you know what? I think the Knights are in a kind of a unique situation compared to, say, like a team like Tampa Bay or Florida, where you have Vasilevsky in Tampa and you have Bobrovsky in Florida, or with the Stars, you're going to see Ottinger.
Ottinger's
right?
a guy. Yeah,
I mean, he's your guy.
No contest there.
Yeah, so I think if we go on a long run this spring again in Vegas, you're going to see both goaltenders. They're going to have to contribute. That's just the way it's going to be. And, we'll see. Hill's got the pedigree. He's done it in the past. Logan Thompson's come in when called upon. I mean, he's played a lot of really good hockey the last 2 years. And I think both goaltenders will be relied on heavily as we kind of move, hopefully, into May and through into June.
The Phoenix Coyotes are moving. I know you've heard this. Phoenix Coyotes, they couldn't get a stadium deal there. They're going to be moving to Salt Lake City and play there. You see, they're excited about that. Utah, the NHL is coming up there, so they got the NBA and now the NHL moving to Salt Lake City. I'll get your thoughts in a moment here, Jeff, but first let's talk. Bill Foley mentioned how the Knights are going to have a neighbors moving a little bit to the north of us from Arizona up to Utah.
I'm going to put a call into him and welcome him to the league. I'm happy to have him. I believe he's going to be a great asset. Now, we give up Salt Lake City as a secondary territory, but we get Arizona, so we're okay. We still have our sphere of influence, which, for example, includes St. George, so we go out that far. And then we have secondary spheres, so we're fine. We're happy. We're good. We love Salt Lake. We have a lot of fans there. But there are more people in Arizona, so I'm going where the people are.
Oh, the I-15 rivalry. Bring it on now. Let's see how it goes and what happens up there. Happy for Salt Lake City. Of course, disappointing for Arizona to see this happen, but it was sort of predictable when the voters down there voted down a new stadium bill there in the land that the owner wanted to build. Okay. You played hockey with the Grizzlies. They had the Golden Eagles before that, the Grizzlies up there right after you played here with the Thunder. you were there 4 years? Was it?
Yeah,
how long were you there?
Yeah, I was there 4 years.
4 years? What was it like? Hockey in Salt Lake, what do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's going to do really well. They're going to have a lot of the similarities that you see here in Vegas. They're going to have a lot of homegrown people that are going to come in and support the team. So they just couldn't get, they spun their wheels for, 27 years in Arizona. They weren't able ever to get kind of, they're dug in like they're going to be able to dig in immediately in Salt Lake. Yeah, we're going to lose the Salt Lake market up into Idaho, into Montana, which was, Bill's big, Mr. Foley's big up through that whole area into Montana. But then you're going to be able to reach into the Phoenix area and try and grab some hockey fans over there and see if you can get them wearing the Golden Knights colors. It's great, though, for the league. You can't have an NHL team playing in a 4,200-seat building or 4,600, whatever they were playing in Phoenix. So I think it's going to be good.
There's also some talk in the NHL about moving. Now they got to settle it and get that team up in Salt Lake. They don't have a name yet for it up there in Salt Lake. They got a contest going on that. But there's been some rumblings about possibly moving the Utah team in Colorado into the Pacific Division and take. You got to keep Edmonton and Calgary in the same division.
Right.
That rivalry is one of, as you know, one of the best in the NHL, and put them over into the Central Division. What are your thoughts?
Well, either 6-1, half a dozen the other, right? So you got Edmonton and Calgary, and you talk about the Battle of Alberta. If you think about Edmonton and Vegas, that's quite a rivalry now. They played 3 times this year in the regular season. So until they can even out the schedule, there's going to be a time when Calgary and Edmonton are only going to play each other 3 times, where you play everyone in the Central twice. So, yeah, you don't want to lose that, but at the same time, travel's a big thing. I see Salt Lake staying in the Central for the time being, Utah. We're going to have to call them Utah.
Is it Utah or Salt Lake? Yeah, I don't know what they're going to.
Well,
they are the Utah Jazz.
One and the same, right? So,
So they'll probably go with Utah to have the whole state.
Yeah.
They're Utah Jazz fans in St. George, okay?
Yeah.
So it works that way. So thank you, Jeff Sharples. Any predictions for tomorrow you want to make real quick, or this series? What do you think?
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, the Knights, I think a little bit more depth through the middle and a little bit more depth on D. So they're going to have to get the puck in, play behind the Dallas defense, which means play down low. And we're going to have to be quicker. The Golden Knights are going to have to be quicker in their own zone, responding to any kind of breakdowns, and just kind of when plays start to break down, get back to the middle ice and help your goaltender. So I would say below the goal lines in both ends, we're going to have the Golden Knights are going to have to play quicker than the Stars. That's going to be a big part of this series.
Good series, and it could go the distance. Knights will not have home ice advantage. It starts in Dallas, of course. They won't have home ice advantage in any playoff series this year, coming in as that 8th seed. So Jeff Sharples, thank you very much. Former NHLer hanging out with us. Of course, played with the Thunder, and as we find out, the Salt Lake Grizzlies as well, too. So Lion of Sports Wrap, we'll be right back after this.